A few months ago, Richard and I profiled 8 performers we thought were poised on the edge of stardom. As we revisit that program, some of them have already proven us right. I'm Roger Ebert.
And I'm Richard Roeper. But unlike NFL officials, we don't get to reverse our decisions after instant replay. We've got to stick with the actors we chose for better or worse. At the end of the show, we'll talk about their progress. They're not yet leading the charge on the red carpet on Oscar night or pulling in $10 or $15 million a movie, but they are talented and versatile actors, and they're the focus of this special show, The Edge of Stardom. This week, Roger and I focus on our favorites in a number of genres, starting with action. Now, Stallone and Schwarzenegger are past 50, and Eastwood, well, he's old enough to be Heath Ledger's grandfather. But the next generation of action heroes has really yet to emerge. I'd like to start off with kind of a wild card pick. Owen Wilson. The Rock could probably snap this guy in two, but don't underestimate Wilson, who's already been in a number of entertaining action and crime flicks. In Bottle Rocket, he played the leader of a motley crew of hold-up men.
Let's move, come on! A bigger one, you idiot! What do you think?
Don't call me an idiot, you punk.
Do you have bigger bags for atlases or dictionaries, sir?
Wilson teamed with Jackie Chan for some funny Hope and Crosby-type fight scenes in Shanghai Noon. And in the overblown Armageddon, Wilson's comic touch was a welcome addition.
Okay, you're talking about my little girl, all right? I think I know who and what she is, okay?
Okay, but Harry, all we're saying is we're talking about a kid who's coming into her own right now, and she's getting curious about her body, and she's exploring her sexuality. And you know what? Oscar, it's a natural thing.
I'd like to see Willis and Wilson team up for a mentor-student caper flick. In fact, with his everyman looks and his clever line readings, Wilson could be the next Bruce Willis, a regular guy action hero who survives by his wits rather than his triceps. Not only is Wilson comfortable and quick on screen, he's also a talented writer. He co-scripted Bottle Rocket and Rushmore. Here's hoping he writes himself a part that fulfills his promise as a potential action hero of the 21st century.
You know, I like your idea of having him as kind of the kid with a mentor, and looking at him in that hat makes me think of James Caan in El Dorado. Remember where he's studying under Robert Mitchum and John Wayne? He's got that kind of air where I don't know what I'm doing here, and I don't know if I know how to hold this gun, but I'm going to do my best. And in Shanghai Noon, that's what really came out, that he was a good sport. He was trying to go along with the action rather than just a Superman.
And vocally, he's almost got a young Dennis Hopper thing going when you listen to him. So I just think, you know, the world is his if he writes himself the right part.
Yeah, he's got that kind of Steve Buscemi or Christopher Walken thing going where the moment you see him on screen, you kind of smile because you know that something a little quirky or unexpected is going to happen.
Yeah, even when he's been in junk, he's added a little sharpness to it.
My nominee for the action star of tomorrow is Vin Diesel. Even his name sounds right. He has a lean, rough voice presence capable of violence, but also a gentler side that is used in voice-over work. Diesel's hot right now because of The Fast and the Furious, but he started slowly directing 2 films, a short and a feature, trying to get started. He was unemployed when Steven Spielberg saw the short film named Multifacial and offered him the role of Private Caparzo in Saving Private Ryan.
I can't. She reminds me of my niece, sir.
Caparzo, get the kid back up there. Captain, the decent thing to do is to at least take her down the road to the next town.
Then he was sensational in Boiler Room as a foul-mouthed, aggressive salesman in a shady stock operation.
Whole firm's going nuts. Hold on, let me open up the door to my office. See that, Doc? That's my trading floor.
And in Pitch Black, Diesel was the star as a killer convict shipwrecked on an alien planet and looking out only for himself.
There's got to be some part of you that wants to rejoin the human race.
Truthfully, I wouldn't know how.
It's in The Fast and the Furious that you can see Vin Diesel's career really taking shape. He's got the intense, compact strength of a Steve McQueen, and you believe he's leveling with you and not just repeating dialogue. Authenticity like that is natural, but it can't easily be learned, and without it, an action star takes the risk of looking like he's only bluffing. Diesel, whose real name is Mark Vincent, no doubt renamed himself thinking of action roles, and I think he was right, and the shaved head doesn't hurt either. From 0 to star in 3 pictures, that's Fast and Furious.
Yeah, I like that there's an aura of mystery about this guy. He won't talk about his ethnic background, and I don't think he does a lot of the TV appearances. And it's better that way because then we just get to enjoy the characters he's creating.
What intrigues me is that he made 2 movies as a director before he ever really got started with this acting career. And I think he'll come back to be a director again. I think that shows an interesting sensibility.
You know, it might be interesting to see my guy, Wilson, and your guy, Diesel, with their very different styles, do a movie together.
Coming up, Mel Gibson and Pierce Brosnan fell hard for one of our next actresses on the edge of stardom. That's Franca Potente, who never stops running in Run, Lola, Run, a surprise hit from 1999. And she is my choice in a category we're calling romance, which I define to include melodrama and swashbuckling. Potente, a 26-year-old German, broke through in Run, Lola, Run, where the plot about getting some money to save her boyfriend's life was an excuse for her to run on deadline through an entire movie. She's also, I think, headed for Hollywood stardom because she's right at home acting in America movies and proved it earlier this year in Blow, where she played a Southern California stewardess who is Johnny Depp's first wife.
I got to apologize about my parents.
They weren't that bad. They were kind of cute.
Potente shows the potential for major stardom in The Princess and the Warrior, a movie I loved. Directed by Tom Tykwer of Run, Lola, Run, it's a wonderful movie about a psychiatric nurse who gets involved in a dangerous loop with a bank robber. In all 3 of these movies, Franca Potente claims screen territory. When she stands next to a star, she holds her own. You look at her. She's one of those rare actresses like Sigourney Weaver or Angelina Jolie who can be physical, intellectual, and emotional all in the same movie.
Those are excellent comparisons because she is physical in these movies. She's just really good. You know, in Blow, I knew she was in the movie going into it, but I forgot it was her as I was watching the movie, and then I saw the credits, and I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right. That was Franca Potente, because she completely slips into the character of this kind of beach bunny flight attendant in the late 60s in Southern California.
She's great, and Princess and the Warrior is almost like a master test for an actress because she has to do so many different kinds of things.
Yeah, she certainly holds the screen. Now, when it comes to romance, I like the English actress Catherine McCormick, whose work thus far on stage and screen indicates she's at least as interested in doing projects of substance as she is in becoming a big star. You might remember her as the silent film diva in last year's Shadow of the Vampire, or heating up the screen with Pierce Brosnan in The Tailor of Panama. McCormick's most famous role to date was in Braveheart as the object of Mel Gibson's affections.
You've been to Rome?
My uncle took me on a pilgrimage.
What was it like?
Rien qui approche ta beauté.
In Dangerous Beauty, set in 16th century Venice, McCormick is in love with Rufus Sewell, who literally can't afford to marry her.
My people are true citizens 700 years back.
A coat of arms does not an inheritance make.
Obviously, directors see something timeless in McCormick's classic looks, as she's often cast in period pieces, but she also has a very modern confidence and a sense of self that shines through in everything she does. She's strong and bright and funny, and she's been so good handling Scottish, German, Italian, and of course British characters that moviegoers might not even realize where she hails from. Next up, McCormick stars opposite Robert Redford and Brad Pitt in The Spy Game, and this could be the film that catapults Catherine McCormick to true leading lady status.
You know, the role of hers that I think really got away from audiences was Dangerous Beauty. That was a great picture set in Venice, where she's the poor girl from the good family who becomes a courtesan and influences the course of empires. And it's a role that, you know, where she's on screen in practically every scene that is so challenging. And when I saw that movie, I knew that we were really dealing with a star.
I don't know why that movie wasn't a hit.
I don't either.
It's sexy, and she carries the movie, and I think maybe it's because of the generic title, or they didn't market it the right way, but you're right, she already had a star-making vehicle. Hopefully another of these movies that she's got coming up will turn her into the star she should be.
Dangerous Beauty sounds like Fatal Attraction
or Stealing Beauty or whatever. Okay, when we come back, 2 young comedians who put the edge in stardom.
Hey, I give up.
Well, guess the automatic sighting works.
Yeah. Thought I was about to sprawl.
A movie never suffers when infused with a shot of Jack Black. We're calling this show The Edge of Stardom as we spotlight 10 of the most promising actors in films today. In the comedy department, my vote is for the acerbic and wildly talented Jack Black, who has a hardcore cult following already thanks to his parody folk duo Tenacious D, along with his aggressively edgy work in films such as The Cable Guy, Enemy of the State, and his best part to date as an outcast slacker who's a serious music snob in High Fidelity.
Why not? Well, it's sentimental, tacky crap. That's why not. Do we look like the kind of store that sells I just called to say I love you? Go to the mall.
Even in Drek like Saving Silverman, black makes you laugh.
Dude, you don't have to do the sound. It already does that. Out.
Copy that. I'm not gonna make the sound after I say stuff. J.D. McNugent, over and out.
And he gets a chance to play the romantic lead opposite Gwyneth Paltrow in Shallow Hal, the upcoming comedy from the Farrelly brothers.
Oh, there she is. There's Rosemary.
Where?
Right there.
Is she behind the rhino?
Unlike most popular movie comics like Robin Williams and Eddie Murphy, and even younger stars like Chris Rock and Adam Sandler, Black doesn't seem to much care if we like him. That's worked great so far, but if he can somehow add just a dash of warmth to his repertoire, he could become a huge star, the next John Belushi.
And I loved him in Jesus' Son, where he plays the emergency room orderly.
Right.
The guy comes in with a knife stuck into his eye. The doctor won't operate because he's not a brain surgeon, and Black just pulls it out and says he's okay now. I saved lives.
Yeah.
I mean, he is really great at scenes like that.
Yeah, and it was, High Fidelity was the first showcase role.
Yes.
And I'd like to see him try to carry a whole picture. I think the guy can do it.
I know he can. My choice for an emerging comedy star is Natasha Lyonne, who was only 22, but has been crucial to the success of some of the funniest movies of recent years. She was spotted real early by Woody Allen in Everyone Says I Love You, where she's Allen's daughter and the narrator of the picture. And then she was brilliant in The Slums of Beverly Hills, playing a teenage girl whose unemployed father, Alan Arkin, desperately tries to find affordable housing in a good school district.
Why can't we ever stay put? It's not normal to move every 3 months.
It's normal in some cultures. Nomads. They move.
So where's our new apartment this time?
Lyonne had her first big success in American Pie as the one girl who actually knows something about sex.
All right, no wonder you're not psyched about sex. You tell me you never even had one manually?
I've never tried it.
You never double-clicked your mouse?
Sex was the subject again in But I'm a Cheerleader, the movie where her protective parents feared that she was exhibiting lesbian tendencies and sent her to a rehab camp to learn to be straight.
I'm not like all of you. Everyone reads Cosmo. Everyone looks at other girls all the time.
Natasha Lyonne has been in big titles like Scary Movie 2 and American Pie 2 and has 8 more movies in the works. She's good at all sorts of roles, but she has the one essential quality of any comic actor. She makes you smile the first time you see her. She has that kind of exasperated pout that shows she's the smartest person in the room. She works that lower lip and is fed up with the cretins who surround her. Look at this shot from Slums of Beverly Hills.
God.
I love that moment.
Well, she's so much better than a lot of the young comic actors who have to have sex with pies or jump off buildings or crash cars to get laughs, because she gets laughs through her delivery of lines. And you talk about how smart she is. She's also just seems more mature. She's only 22. She's got a little bit of that kind of Janine Garofalo thing going on, where she's just like, I can't believe these fools. Eventually they'll catch up to me. I like that a lot about her.
Yeah, I don't know how many people saw Slums of Beverly Hills, but that's, in addition to everything else, a dramatic role and shows she really has her chops when it comes to knowing how to behave and deal with dialogue and complex situations. She's good.
Yeah, even in cartoons like American Pie, she seems to have another level going there. It's really good stuff.
Coming up next, 2 dramatic actors who can play any role and do.
Visit our website, ebertandroeper.tv, presented by the Vista Series DVD collection.
That's Billy Crudup as the great American runner Steve Prefontaine in a 1998 movie named Without Limits. And Billy Crudup is my choice as an emerging dramatic star. He's been so good in such strong roles that he'd be better known, I think, if he didn't seem like a different person in every picture. Some actors are always more or less themselves. Others disappear into roles. That's what he does. Remember him as that lean athlete at the beginning of this segment, and now watch him here in Jesus' Son as a druggie, dropout, and drifter.
You know you're bleeding from the nose?
But now look at this. Look at Crudup as a straight-arrow congressional candidate in Waking the Dead, the story of a man obsessed by the memory of the political activist that he once loved.
I want to be the president. smiling.
Billy Crudup followed that role with another 180-degree change of character, playing the rock guitar god who becomes the hero of a 15-year-old would-be journalist in Almost Famous.
Excuse me, but didn't we all get into this to avoid responsibility?
I can't say any more with the writer here.
No. You can trust him. Say what you want. He won't write it.
So yeah, Billy Crudup playing an athlete, a druggie, a congressional candidate, and a rock star, and he's also played a modern cowboy and a Boston gangster. But it's not just his range that impresses me, it's the humanity he brings to those roles, reaching inside for who the person really is instead of depending on externals. Almost Famous is so good because the rock star is not just a rock star, but can himself remember what it would be like to be that kid who takes himself so seriously.
Yeah, well, Crudup's really good, and he's been in a lot of really good movies, but people haven't gone to see those movies. And I'm going to suggest for him to become the star that he should be, he do something a little more mainstream. I'd like to see him do a romantic comedy with Julia Roberts or somebody like that, and then become a big star, and then people will see how good he really is.
Yeah, well, everybody would like to be in a movie with Julia Roberts, I guess, but, you know, I think when he made Almost Famous, he thought it was mainstream. I thought it was mainstream.
Maybe so.
Why people didn't go to see it, I don't know, but I think he's doing the right thing to choose good movies and then see how they do,
well, maybe
instead
he should
of compromising up front.
Fine, maybe he should just get out of the 70s and do some more modern stuff and see if he works
now that's not fair.
Well, I'm just talking box office-wise. I'm not talking about in terms of
Almost Famous, too.
It's a great movie.
Okay.
Well, we both agree that he's really good and he should be a bigger star.
Okay.
This was probably the easiest category for me to pick a favorite, as I'm convinced Don Cheadle is one of our best actors. And now it's up to movie makers and filmgoers to embrace that fully. Cheadle is a character actor who looks like a leading man, and he can sing, move, play the villain, and make us laugh as well. He's done supporting work since the mid-'80s, but only in the last 3 or 4 years has the material consistently been up to his talents. In Bulworth, Cheadle played a drug lord who gives a lesson in street economics to a whacked-out senator played by Warren Beatty.
I'm giving them entry-level positions into the only growth sector occupation that's truly open to them right now. That's the substance supply industry.
Cheadle was a porn star who turned shy during an off-camera courtship in Boogie Nights.
Yeah. I was saying that I love sunsets.
But sunrises are better.
Exactly.
I thought I was the only one who felt that way.
No, I feel that way.
And in the HBO picture The Rat Pack, Cheadle stole the show as Sammy Davis Jr.
You used to be too wise. Hey there.
What the hell is it, Sam?
Cheadle was excellent playing law enforcement officers in Traffic and Swordfish, and he was just fine as a guardian angel in The Family Man. By my count, Don Cheadle has been effective in no fewer than 15 films in the last 4 years, but he wasn't the leading man in any of them. What's it going to take for this guy to get top billing?
I think he's poised. I think he's on the edge, so to speak. You know, as long ago as Devil in the Blue Dress, the picture he made with Denzel Washington, he was being talked about for an Academy Award nomination for that role, and people keep noticing him. And it's like we're talking about Crudup. Sometimes it's the luck of the draw. You get a picture because it looks good. Whether it's successful or not, you know, is hard to predict.
Well, I hate to think that it's because he's black, and people say, well, we already have Denzel Washington. We don't have room for another black leading man in Hollywood.
He's pure talent at a time when African-American actors are really coveted in Hollywood. So that's not an issue, I don't think.
Well, that was then, and this would be now. We'll be back in a minute with an update.
Join Ebert and Roeper's second annual Film Festival at Sea. With sneak previews of the hottest new movies, everyone becomes a film critic. Roger and Richard sail to the Bahamas and Disney's Castaway Cay, February 28th through March 3rd, aboard the Disney Wonder. Ebert and Roeper's Film Festival at Sea. Call your travel agent or 1-800-945-3806.
Okay, so I had Diesel, Patente, Crudup, and Leone, and you had Wilson, McCormick, Cheadle, and Black. Which of us did the better job of prognosticating?
Well, I think I did a better job of figuring out who was going to be in movies that were going to come out over the next couple of months. Catherine McCormick really didn't get much out of Spy Game. It really wasn't her movie. I think Jack Black has become a bigger star because of Shallow Hal.
And also because of Orange County.
Yeah, so he's working, and I also said Owen Wilson as an action star, and he certainly was an action star in Behind Enemy Lines.
You know, I think Billy Crudup in Charlotte Gray, which I have problems with, did a very good job. It shows once again what a chameleon he is and being able to play different kinds of roles.
But it also shows, once again, my problem, I think, with Billy Crudup, or maybe it's not a problem, but he takes on a lot of roles that aren't really star-making roles. Maybe he doesn't want to be a big movie star.
I mean, it's better to be a good actor and let the stardom come than try to be a star and be in a lot of junk.
But you only have so much of a window where you can become a leading man and they move on to the next guy. Remember Matthew McConaughey? Remember him?
Then there's another thing going on here, too, and that is that sometimes actors seem to be gone for a year and then all of a sudden, like Gene Hackman had 3 movies in a month recently. Vin Diesel is going to be coming up with some big stuff.
Yeah, we're not saying you were wrong about Vin Diesel. We just have to wait and see.
Premature.
That's it for this special show. Next week, we'll be back with reviews of some new movies. And until then, the balcony is closed.
And we ought to mention Don Cheadle, who had a very good role in Ocean's 11, so he's on track.
Well, he was in a very good movie. I thought actually it was not a great role for him, but I still believe that he's going to have a great career.
Natasha Lyonne was in Kate and Leopold, but that's not the kind of role she should be looking for at this point in her career.
We're bringing the great taste of Weiler's to light. Weiler's Light, now with vitamin C.
There's a place for parents who know that peace and quiet is sometimes overrated. Chuck E. Cheese's, where a kid can be a kid and a parent can be a parent.
New Blistex Silk and Shine with real silk extracts. For the feeling of silk, plus a light glossy shine. Discover what your lips are missing. New Blistex Silk and Shine.
They're your family. That's why you serve them all-natural Tyson chicken with no additives and minimal processing. Tyson, it's what your family deserves.
Closed captioning for Ebert and Roeper is brought to you by...
Jolly time popcorn.